Filipinos are weird. I say this as a Filipino born in Manila and moved to the US when I was 9. They have this weirdly peculiar presence on the internet. Like, the moment you mention anything relating to the Filipino culture, or heaven forbid, speak a lick of Tagalog, the Filipinos will come out of the woodworks and go wild. That could be in a stream's chat, the comment section of a YouTube video, or clips channels specifically clipping the moment the content creator mentions Filipinos. I personally find it so very strange. I know we're prideful and all, Pinoy power and all that, but fam, can you guys relax for a moment? I never understood why Filipinos were so patriotic at times, or how most of our stereotypes end up being so loud, for lack of a better word for it. Anytime I see some sort of really obnoxious Filipino pride stuff, I cringe internally, really badly. I suppose this is coming from the perspective of someone who is kind of the total antithesis of the typical Filipino, except for the sassiness. All Filipinos have that. My time living essentially the majority of my childhood in the Philippines doesn't make me stand out even among Filipino Americans. An example being little me at the time having no idea what PBS was, the channel. Scholastic? What's that? What's PB&J? Okay, that last one, I was just a picky eater, admittedly, a very picky eater. But I think you get the point I'm trying to make. I remember not understanding how car rides could be so long. It's funny looking back at it. Also, the lack of traffic was a shock to me, or at least the area that I moved in the US. A lot of culture shocks happened in the first few years living in the US. I remember missing a lot of things at the time. One of the biggest things being food. As a Filipino, I would have no Jollibee, no Piatos, Chippy, Clover, Roller Coaster, Patatas, Mocha Cake, Lugao, Champurrado, Galonggong, Tinola, among other things. Thankfully, I still had food like sinigang, tilapia, adobo, and bangus. But as time has gone on living in the US, I can go get most of the food I mentioned nowadays. However, a select few food I still haven't had since my childhood still exist that I haven't eaten in ages. The prime example being lugao. Of course, I missed my friends back home when I first moved to the US, but at that point I already made my tearful goodbyes and went forward to the future when I moved to the US. It's over a decade since I was last in the Philippines. I miss some things about it, but also, I'm glad I'm away from it, away from the constantly dangerous Filipino roadways, away from the noise Manila made, and especially away from all the insects, notably the cockroaches and the mosquitoes. Especially since I got dengue fever. But I do miss being able to go to Jollibee so casually, and I'll never forget the closest thing to experiencing a magical moment in my life. Seeing the Banaway rice terraces in all of its glory. The only thing that I've witnessed in the US that could stand a chance against it was seeing the Grand Canyon. But it just doesn't. I'll probably talk about the Philippines another time, but now I'm gonna go listen to Eminem. This journal entry was written on November 30th, 2 p.m.